You're listening to the Old New Adventures of Superman, the podcast where we review episode by episode the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. My name is Jason, I'm one of your hosts, and I'd seen this episode once before, and joining me is...
Hello guys, this is Richelle, and this will be the first time that I've seen these episodes.
So once again, we're recording very late at night before going to bed. We're very tired, so we'll see if the episode doesn't break down too much while we're recording. So we're recording, reviewing episode 5. The title of the episode was Requiem for a Superhero. It was directed by Randall Zisk and written by Robert Kilbrew. It would have originally aired on October 17th, 1993. So as always, we like to start just by reading the synopsis from Wikipedia. So do you want to do that, or am I doing it?
No, you can do it this time.
So it reads as follows. Lois and Clark cover a story about boxing fighters who seem to be stronger than an average normal human. I would have said boxers, but boxing fighters apparently. Lois meets a family friend, Ali Dinello, and asks for information, but he declines to say anything. When later he, I would imagine they should have put there, when later calls Lois and asks to meet him, Lois gets there, but Ali is murdered before he talks to her. Lois and Clark's investigation leads them to Lois's father, Dr. Sam Lane, who works in the sports medicine, and to discover that the fighters are in reality cyborgs. Sam decides to help Lois when he finds out that his other partner, Max, is the one who killed Ali. In the meantime, it is revealed that Max works for Lex Luthor, who wants to build an army of Supermans. Max kidnaps Lois, and while Superman fights two cyborgs, Lex gets the opportunity to save her life by killing Max, something that Lois appreciates. Lois and Clark write the story, revealing the truth about the fighters and what was really going on. So there's our breakdown on Wikipedia. Again, throwing me off midstream with some of the, not spelling mistakes, but just maybe words that are missing or grammatical errors.
I think it's because you teach English, that's why. For you, it's a bit more obvious.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Or just doesn't flow.
It's just
very
when
well,
just as you're reading it mid-sentence and suddenly you trip up over a word.
I told you, you just have to, you should maybe write your own synopsis and compare it to what is written.
Yeah. Well, I've started taking notes during the episodes.
Yeah,
so I probably could.
It's much longer notes than usual, isn't it?
It was a very interesting episode, wasn't it? So.
Well, you like it so much this episode, haven't you?
Well, that will be spoilers, wouldn't it?
For the
end of the show of where I'm going to place it. But anyway, again, synopsis doesn't mention how it starts.
No, it doesn't.
Do you remember how it started?
Oh yeah, he played baseball.
Yeah, so he's in a baseball field and he's playing baseball.
Playing by himself.
By himself.
I thought it was so sad.
I thought it was, so I imagined that he's going to pitch the ball.
Yeah, and just let it go.
No, and then like at super speed get to the plate and hit it.
Oh, yeah.
Which he did.
Yes.
But he also played the baseman. He started to run the home run while at the same time running to catch the ball. It was just a little bit silly.
Yeah, but that was fun, I suppose, for him. And I think that's the only way
he could play. And then he caught it by flying.
Yeah.
And again, he's just there, exposing himself as Superman with everyone around. Oh.
Yeah.
This is my big complaint, is that he's not careful enough.
Yeah, Jason's worried that you're going to blow your cover up.
Yeah. So we jump from a baseball game to...
a boxing game. No.
There was another game before. There's a lot of games.
Oh, poker.
Poker.
Poker, yeah.
He's invited by Perry to play poker.
Mm-hmm.
And he's actually got a really good hand. I think he's got like 3 jacks. So
yes, he did.
He was doing all right. But he's sort of in a head-to-head with Perry at the end. And it's high stakes.
Jimmy was really... Oh, if Superman could play, he would definitely win this game. And then Lois like, no, I don't think so.
But he'd be tempted to look, wouldn't he? You'd need willpower. You'd need super willpower.
Yeah.
And all this time Clark is there going, yeah, I really want to look. And he even started
to
look.
Yes, yeah.
But then he doesn't, and he folds.
Yes,
so,
yeah.
Which, I mean, yeah. I was trying to think if he needed to fold or if he could have just called and seen the cards.
Yeah.
I thought that he'd already put in his
twin.
And again, he had 3 jacks.
Yeah, it was quite a good hand, wasn't it?
I think he should have just...
I don't know. I don't know how to play poker. So.
Should have gone. Anyway, that wasn't all that happened in the newsroom, because also there was the...
They got assigned together, haven't they? They got assigned to be partners.
Yeah. Lane and Kent.
Yeah.
And she wasn't...
keen on it.
Yeah, she wasn't thrilled, but she went along with it. She was sort of not really given any other option. And they get assigned their story, which is, as you mentioned, this big boxing event, because this one gym's going to have like 4 fighters that are going to take the titles in 4 different weight divisions, and they're all incredible. And we discover that Lois has connections to the boxing world.
Yeah.
Through her father.
Yeah. And we were intrigued, weren't we? We thought, what?
Well, I think in most cases, now this is where I could be wrong, but I'm sure in quite a number of the comics that I've read, and different movies and cartoons and things, her father I always thought was General Lane. I thought he was in the army, and he was quite often involved in different plots that were kind of trying to catch Superman or do kind of some shady dealings there.
Yeah.
But we find out that actually he's a doctor. And so he basically is a sports doctor specifically. So whenever a fighter got injured, they'd go to him and come out
better
than when they'd gone in. And that sort of leads through the story in the direction it's going. But we also meet Ali, and they want, he's got a good relationship with Lois. He treats her a bit like a daughter.
Yeah, Pumpkin.
Yeah.
He called her Pumpkin.
And then they want to interview the fighter, and he will only let them interview him if Clark climbs into the ring with him.
Yeah.
And he's just a psycho, this guy.
Yeah.
He's just sort of so weird.
Yeah, he was just full of rage.
I mean, he spends his life getting hit in the head, so I suppose it's only natural, but we'll come back to him towards the end of the episode. But we see that sort of they get whisked away. The boxing promoter's not happy that they've been given this access, and he blames Ali.
Yeah.
And and then who do we meet next? Who's behind? Well, no, even before I'm trying to think, what point do we meet Lex? I think it's now, isn't it? It's before Ali dies.
Yeah, before Ali dies, so, we see him talking to someone.
Yeah.
And playing darts.
He's on the phone, and he's throwing some darts.
Yeah.
And and this Lex is so full of himself. So he's just talking about how much money he makes, how much he makes per year, which means how much he makes per month, which is how much per week, per day, and gets it like kind of down to how much he makes per minute. And, and we've been on the phone for how many minutes now, so do you get what I'm saying? And they're like, no, I don't understand. And he's basically saying, if you've got a problem, you deal with it. Don't call me. But the way he does it, he's just so... And the whole time, every other word, he's launching a dart at something. Yeah. That's clearly not a dartboard. So you're sort of sitting there the whole time going, what? I honestly thought it was going to be a person. And he was
it was just a normal dartboard.
No, I thought it was going to be like, not that he was hitting a person, but like somebody strapped to a board or something, and he's like hitting the darts around them or something, or the apple on the head type thing. Yeah. I think I was closer with my guess than if you said you thought it was just a dartboard.
A cardboard cutout of Superman.
Yeah, so he must have been the one that bought it at the Superman fair in the previous episode. So that's interesting. And nice to see, they made that prop. They got...
Well, they have to use it, otherwise it'll be a waste.
A lot of use from it, didn't they? So he basically tells the guy, look, you deal with it. And Lois gets a phone call back at the Daily Planet. It's from Ali. He's upset about something, wants to meet her, so she goes
Yes.
to meet him, and he gets hit by a truck.
Yes. It looked like a recycling truck.
It did look like a recycling truck. You'd think that if a truck hits somebody,
it would stop.
Well, no,
It would
it was a
flatten
hit. It was a hit and run. But you'd think
It would
that
flatten the person.
you'd think something would happen. Like it just seemed like it just drove.
It just basically drove, and
Yeah, it didn't like slow down a bit. It didn't
No.
like even change course. It wasn't. You didn't see any kind of impact
no.
on the truck. And I get that it's just a man.
You heard
against
the
a truck.
noise though.
Yeah, you heard a noise, but I don't believe that truck really hit somebody. I don't feel the special
come
effects were on
on.
par. And then we see him dead,
Yeah.
and he doesn't look like he's been hit by a truck. He just looks like he's having a little nap.
Of course. What do you want? You want like blood on his head?
No, just a little bit of realism. Again, in a show where somebody's flying around, I know, but so Lois is very upset about what's happened.
Yeah.
Obviously, she
Initially thought that, oh, it's murder.
well, no, yeah, she says like because I think
Someone
the
must
police
have-
report it
yeah.
as being like a drunk drive or a hit and run, and she's like, no, I saw it was intentional. There was the car drove straight at him. It didn't swerve. There was no, this was deliberate. So she tries to kind of pursue this story, but before that, when he's dead, then we get our next Lex scene.
Oh yes, yeah.
Where he's having a conversation with someone.
Yeah, he was.
About how he's disappointed that he has to kill somebody, because yes, there are times when he's had to do away with people, but
in a
but it's almost like it means he wasn't able to come up with a more creative solution, and so he always just feels a little bit disappointed.
Yeah,
so he's
finesse,
really
he said.
opening up and sharing.
We were like wondering, who is he talking to?
And who was he talking to?
He's talking to himself in front of a mirror. Oh,
he's so vain, this guy. Oh, it's a great version of Lex, isn't it?
It's a bit comical in a very weird way, isn't it?
Yeah. So they're trying to pursue the story. I think that she kind of so we've also skipped over that she meets her father. We see them meet, and clearly there's a
awkwardness there.
Yeah, it's not the best relationship by the looks of things. There's a lot of animosity on her part towards him, and but he's basically telling her to drop this story. Like,
yes,
it's not safe, and she should leave it. So what do they decide to do? Does she drop the story?
Of course not.
Of course not. She goes to his office.
His office, yeah.
She attempts to pick the lock because, well, she's seen Jimmy do it. So if Jimmy can do it must be. And she's just sort of like, what am I doing wrong? And she's just wiggling. And then Clark just rips the door handle off.
Exactly, and puts it in his pocket.
Oh yeah, you've done it. And he just sort of smashes the door. So they are going through the office.
Yeah,
now,
folder by folder.
So what we're missing is after there has to be a scene where they had to then put back every folder and piece of paper.
They didn't because there was an earthquake.
Well, yeah. You're jumping ahead onto why they might not have had to do that. But it wasn't a very kind of... They didn't keep the things in the tray and just find out. They just pulled everything out. Everything on the desk.
My goodness.
And then also Clark finds a secret...
Uses his X-ray vision.
And finds a secret door that leads down to a secret basement.
Laboratory.
And they discover that basically her dad's been putting sort of robotic limbs in people with little motors that's making them more powerful, and that's why they're winning all their fights. Yeah. So it's like, oh, I'm the daughter of Dr. Frankenstein.
And then Clark hears someone.
Yeah, Clark hears someone. He leaves her in the basement.
It wasn't a basement. It was just like an adjacent room.
Okay.
Yeah.
He goes out. We see the promoter in one of the boxes, and this box is the insane one. He keeps shouting again, And how does he decide to
I
discreetly get out of this?
I was really confused at what he was gonna do, and then he just started to push the wall and like stamp on the floor.
Yeah, so he's like, it's like when you're playing the piano on a desk, when you're like using your fingers to drum a desk, almost like you're on the piano.
That's what
he's doing that on the wall and like stamping his feet, and it makes the whole building shake. So they run away.
Yeah.
But of course, I was wondering, but is this earthquake only in that one building then? And yes,
it was.
Because
Jimmy
Lois
was like,
is like saying to Jimmy,
no,
"Oh, we would have been if it wasn't for the earthquake." It's like, there was no earthquake. What earthquake are you talking about? Again, Clark he's playing fast and loose with his powers. He's going to get caught. He's going to get caught one of these days. But then he convinces Lois to bury the story.
Yes, he did.
He basically is sort of saying, look, it's going to, if they find out that if your father's basically been exposed,
then they're going to get rid of him.
They're going to get rid of him the same way they got rid of Ali.
Yeah.
And so they go to Perry and they do bury the story, don't they? So he's not very happy about that.
No.
And he sort of starts putting them on bad reports and on bad stories that aren't very interesting. And he's really playing it up. I'm trying to think what happened after the secret room. She goes to her father again, doesn't she? And she basically
confronts him.
She wants an answer.
She confronts him, didn't she?
Yeah, but she's saying like, I want an answer, not as a reporter, just me. He won't tell everything. She said, well, I buried the story to protect you.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like, I wish you hadn't. You should write it. You should reveal what's happened.
Yeah.
And we also understand what sort of Lex's plan was. That they're making these superhumans, and Lex basically, the boxing guy's like, hey, we've got to find her in every weight division, and we're top now. Where can we? There is nowhere to go from here. We've hit the top.
Yeah.
And Lex is just like, oh, you small little man, you've got no idea, because he wants to basically make an army of Supermen.
Yeah. And then what does he want to do with that?
Oh, I don't know. Lex, he's always thinking 4 or 5 steps ahead, so he must have I've no doubt he has a very good plan of what he's going to do with his army of Supermen. But it's just the idea as well that they feel they can rival Superman. They're like so convinced already, like, oh, we can take Superman. And you've seen what Superman can do.
Yeah. I don't know why do you even want to go against him, He's such a good guy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I suppose. Well, they do it because, they're boxers and they want to be the best.
Yeah.
And you've got this guy
Lex is just purely evil.
And Lex just, who knows what
I have too much money in his hand that he just wants to.
But we do, we go back in and check in on Lois's father. He wants to get out of this situation. He's sort of trying to leave it, but they
threatened him.
Yeah, they threaten him, but he records that. He gives that to Lois. And
he disappeared, didn't he?
And he disappears, yeah. So they write the story, because now they've kind of got all the evidence. So they actually write 2 stories. One, the initial story about the boxing thing, and then the second is about what her dad was doing, and there's different things. And they give it to Perry, and he's like, oh, I knew you hadn't given up on the other story. Oh, I was just pretending. And he loses his mind. He's like shouting around the office. Oh, we get this one out in the afternoon. Press, stop the press. He's just...
He was so happy,
crazy.
Wasn't he?
He is.
Do you think he knew that something was on it, or he just wants the story?
No, he... I don't think he knew they were still writing the story. I think.
No. I mean, at the beginning, when he assigned them the story, was it just because it was the big thing happening? It was
a big thing happening,
and he wants Daily Planet to have an exclusive.
Yeah, it was a big thing happening in town that had no press were allowed in.
Okay.
And Lois has a way in because of her father.
Yeah.
That was the only reason they got put on it in the beginning.
He didn't expect it to be that kind of a big story.
No. He had no idea that was going to come out from this. so they release a story. We then see Lex and Max looking at the story, and basically, okay, we've got to get Sam Lane, Lois's father.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh no, he's
disappeared.
Yeah.
Next best thing, get Lois."
Yeah.
So they kidnap Lois.
Yeah.
Lex has already arrived there to kind of try and be like, "Oh, I heard about your father. I wanted to make sure he was okay, make sure you're okay." And then Max turns up and kidnaps her, but he's sort of shocked and playing his part very well.
Yeah.
Good actor, to a degree.
I wondered if he knew that would happen.
Yeah, he'd set it all up surely. And then they go. So obviously, so the fight obviously gets cancelled.
Yes, the fight got cancelled.
And the boxer, he comes out and he's just in the middle of the ring screaming that he wants to fight Superman. Oh, bring me Superman, bring me Superman. And now a lot of other stuff happens. And it seems to me that in all the time the rest of this stuff happens, he must still be standing in the middle of that ring screaming,
that's true.
I want to fight Superman.
All those times.
And the crowd is still there.
Yeah.
They know that the fight's been cancelled.
Yeah, but
do they really think? Do they think, "Oh, Superman will be here any minute. Let's stay and watch this"?
Well, they paid for their ticket, so they want to see what's gonna be instead of the fight.
Maybe something else was gonna be.
So basically, the guy had took Lois, and Lois said, "Oh, the Superman's gonna be here." "Oh, how do you know Superman's gonna be here?" "Well, he always comes and rescues me." And Superman was there behind him. And then there's the two other fighters that was fighting Superman with a iron fist, let's say.
Yeah.
And then Superman wrapped them in barbed wire. Was it like just the wire?
Oh yeah, just like a fence.
A fence, yeah.
A kind of wire fence. Now you say he wrapped them. So are you saying that he took the fence off and he wrapped the?
No, he rolled it on them. Like he basically. How would you describe that?
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just. Oh, so he like put them against the fence and like pushed them, and they kind of
rolled like around the fence.
Yeah, like when a snowball is like rolling down the hill, getting bigger. It was like them rolling.
Like and he was quite pleased about that.
He was very happy with himself.
Look at that! It worked perfectly, and they can still breathe. They're not.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure on the physics behind that. If it would work.
It looks cool.
It looked cool, did it? Okay, well, that's your fresh eyes.
And then while he was doing that, Lex came over and shot the guy, and then Superman arrived, and Lois was like, "Oh, you saved my life!" And then he went to Lex, and we see Superman disappearing in the background.
Yeah, and Lex was very happy.
Oh
with the
yes,
outcome.
he was really pleased with that.
Very smug. So what's left? Just for Superman to go and
fight this guy.
The boxer.
Yeah.
And as soon as he got in the ring, I remembered how the fight ends.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those memories. I was like, oh yeah, because there's a lot. Again, it was like 25 years ago, and I was very little, and there's a lot I don't remember. But that scene,
you remember?
I remembered it.
Yeah.
So. First, he sucker punches Superman, so he goes down, and there's
the
like
old
the little
lady,
You need to keep your left hand up. So giving some boxing advice.
Yeah.
Then Superman stands there, and he just lets this cyborg with enhanced powers
punch him,
and he's just standing there like with his arms crossed. And when we say like not like in a Rocky. Getting punched and feeling it, but literally just sort of standing there and just getting hit, and it does not faze him at all. And you see, a lot of people complain that Superman's overpowered. It's like one of the complaints, like, "Oh, Superman stories are boring because Superman's too powerful." He's not like Batman. There we go. It's in there. He's not like Batman. Batman gets beaten up and stitched up by Alfred and all of that. Superman, he's just, he can do anything. But I start to think I like that.
You like that?
It's like when sometimes when you play a video game and then you've got your character like maxed out top stats and just, you can do anything. Nobody can stop you because you are now so powerful. I always quite enjoy that. So I think I quite liked this scene where Superman's just standing there, just like, do what you want. You can't do anything.
But you remember about that thing when you said that he's just too powerful? That was your complaint usually, because you say like all the Superman like movies, he doesn't have a worthy opponent. Like all his opponents were so weak compared to him.
That's not a complaint that he's too powerful. That's my complaint of they never picked
a good villain for
a good
him.
Villain.
Whereas Batman always have good villains.
No, it's not that. It's just that Superman has good. There are villains in the Superman world that can give him, put up a good fight. That can be at his level, kind of thing. But they always go, oh, let's just do Lex Luthor.
Lex Luthor. Yeah.
And I mean, in a number of the earlier Superman movies, and then they were like, oh, let's do Superman Returns, and we'll use Lex Luthor again. And then even, I mean, to be honest with you, as much as people complained about, like, Man of Steel was good because he was fighting Zod and other Kryptonians. Yeah. Even Batman v Superman, it was poorly executed, but having Doomsday was a good option. There's a villain who is as strong as Superman. So there is a lot you can do, but I do actually. But then again, if he's like so powerful that it's just fun, that's all right. It's when it's like, oh, and he's really being challenged by Lex. Why? And if it's Lex, it's always going to be
the kryptonite,
because of kryptonite. And then it's like, oh, it's the kryptonite again. I'm bored of that. Like, bring something else out.
Use the red kryptonite.
They did that in one of the movies.
Yeah.
So how does he finish off the fight? Well, he winds up for a big punch and he just flicks him in the head.
Yeah.
And that is the scene that I could remember. And I was like, oh yes, I remember now. But of course, again, pilot episode, he lifted a spaceship.
And he swallowed a bomb.
And so but you might not have seen that, but surely everybody saw it was televised that he flew a massive spaceship into space. Yeah. And you're like, well, I'm pretty strong now. I'm winning all these boxing matches.
Yeah.
You're not lifting a spaceship. Then you might think you've got a chance against Superman.
And let's see. Yeah. Oh. Well.
And then that was pretty much it. We go back to... we do go back to Lex. We get one final interesting conversation where he's saying, well, it might have... it's true that they started off bad because of... But, well, I took this bad thing and I spun it into a good thing because now Lois... Oh, the appreciation is for me. And if you'd seen the look on Superman's face... Now, who is he having a conversation with this time?
And having champagne with?
Yeah.
A dog.
A dog.
Yeah.
And he gives the dog champagne.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's very good for the dog.
No, but... Oh, anyway.
But, this Lex is just... he's a nutter. I don't know. And apparently he's the third richest man in the world, as he told us earlier on.
Because he said that the Greece one was just temporary.
No, he said that he is third, but it's at the moment in the sense that it's temporary because he's going to keep getting richer. He's going to overtake them. But he said that there was two other people richer than him. But the point is, how did he get so rich? He's insane. But that being said, look at the world. There are a lot of rich, insane people. Yeah. So there we go. We've answered the question. We're back in the planet for the conclusion. Yeah. Perry's really happy with Lois. There's a few digs at Clark because obviously he went to get help when Superman came. Yeah.
Where were you, Clark?
And he sort of mopes around and he goes off afterwards, and we finish with him doing some boxing training.
No, wait,
also
because
known
as Lois said, "Don't worry, Clark. Even Superman arrived late," and that was just,
just another dagger
in
his side.
Thing.
Yeah, but it's just like there was that line, and then so there's that, and then he's off. He gets invited to another poker game, but he's like, "No, I've got something else I've got to do." And we say boxing training. He just went and broke somebody's gym. He punched the punch bag off the hook. He smashed the speed bag. probably. I mean, he was doing really fast the skipping.
The skipping, yeah.
But we've seen what happens when he stamps his feet in the building earlier.
Oh yeah, that's true. But probably this one is a bit more,
pulled an earthquake down as well.
Not that kind of skipping.
Yeah, anyway.
He was skipping so fast. I thought he'd do double unders.
Yeah, maybe.
But it wasn't.
Double unders would be easy for him because you just need to fly up a little bit.
I know, but he didn't. He was just basically.
He was doing
limping
like.
In
he was doing like boxing speed skipping for boxers with one foot in the other foot. That's very traditional kind of.
Oh, is it? Sorry, I don't follow boxing.
Yeah, I know. So, was it good or bad?
Yeah, I suppose that was all right. Yeah, it was good. Apart from Lex's scenes, that is just cringy.
Well, that leads us into, was there any standout moments? Anything particularly good or particularly bad?
Particularly good moments? I like the investigation part, isn't it? It was quite good. Very Batman-y.
And anything particularly bad?
Bad,
Well, you said the Lex scenes.
Oh yeah,
but I don't think they were bad. They were ridiculous. But they weren't
bad scene. He's quite good.
They weren't bad actor. Like the scene.
He was quite good actor, wasn't he?
The hit and run. That was bad.
That was bad. Okay, the hit and run. Scene.
And the baseball scene at the beginning, I didn't really like.
You didn't like that one. No.
So interestingly, this episode wasn't dated too terribly compared to the other ones, because I mean, apart from like Lex is on the phone and he's just on quite an old style kind of cordless phone, but not so old that you wouldn't still see a phone like that in somebody's house. He probably would just be on a mobile now or a cell phone or something, but anyway, he's using a landline. That's perfectly reasonable.
Or
Why
he would be using, I don't know, the house computer. Oh, I bet if he was talking to someone, it would be like an artificial intelligence thing. It would be like
a Siri.
Yeah, a Siri. Exactly. Alexa. Yeah, Alexa. Something like that.
The only thing that I picked up on is like, this dates a little bit, is when you could hear the printer.
Oh yeah.
And that was because like they weren't even printing. So that's just strange that during the final scenes when they're having this conversation, Perry and Lois and Clark and all that, in the background you can just hear the dot matrix printer like.
Yeah, but it was still in the office. Yeah, so it could be on the other side of
Yes, but my point is,
it was so loud.
As a director of a TV show, let's forget that we're setting it in an office. You'd think the sound man would be like, can we just maybe turn down the printer because we want to make sure we get the voices of the actors quite clear. That's what I meant by it was strange just to have all this.
They just want to make sure
noise.
that to show that it's really busy.
Okay, well, maybe, but you understand my point. I just think it's funny that the sound engineer isn't going, guys, all we can hear is a printer. Can you just turn that one down a little bit? So seeing it for the first time, were you surprised by anything? Were there any twists or turns or things you weren't expecting?
No.
Did you know Lex was going to be behind it all?
Yeah, I mean, Lex is always behind everything.
What about Lois's father? Were you surprised by him turning up?
Yeah, I was surprised him turning up. And also that he's quite good. He was doing everything with good intention, wasn't he? And it was nice at the end of the episode when they kind of rekindled their relationship, which is quite nice.
Well, for me, going back to it, a few things is I didn't remember that her father was a doctor. I don't know if he shows up in any of her episodes. I don't really remember him as a character. That being said, since seeing this series and seeing all the other things, I do know of his character, as I said, in other forms, in other media, and very, very different. The boxing scene, as I've said, I remember that so clearly.
Yeah.
But again, even though I knew this whole episode was about boxing, it wasn't until he's in the ring that I was like, oh, now I remember.
That scene just clicked into your head.
Yeah, it's just weird how that works. So that only leaves us to rank this episode.
Yeah.
Now, I actually have written
Finally,
a list.
something written.
So, as it stands at the moment, we have at the top episode 1, then episode 4, so the last one we reviewed.
Yes.
We've put that second. You were unsure, but
yeah,
I
was
think it should go
persuaded.
second. Then episode 3, and sitting at the bottom is episode 2.
Yeah.
Now, where do you feel that episode 5 fits on this list?
What's number 3 again?
Number 3 was the tests that Lex kept doing.
Oh, this one should go above number 3.
Okay. Below number 4?
What's
Last episode, The Invisible Man. The one you weren't even sure if it should go second.
But you said that was second.
It was second. It's second at the moment. We've got to work out where to put this one.
Yeah, okay. I said, so it would be 1, 4,
so at the moment,
5, 3.
Yeah. So I'm asking, is that where you want to put it?
Yes, yeah.
You're putting it under number 4. You think the Invisible Man episode was better than this episode?
Why is it? No, number 4 should be the second. And number 3...
So the list you keep looking at has the 4 episodes we've previously reviewed. We have just reviewed episode 5. That's not been on the list yet. Where do you want to put it?
Above number 2.
Above number 2, which is the bottom episode. So you think that this episode is second to the last? I thought you liked this episode.
I did.
Did you think it was better than the episode where the Bureau 80 whatever comes?
Yes, it's better than that one, yeah.
Is it better than the episode where Lex has all the tests?
Yes.
Is it better than the episode of The Invisible Man?
No.
No? So the episode that you weren't even sure if it should go second because you didn't really like it, now you're saying is better than this episode. Okay.
How about you?
I would probably put it above the Invisible Man episode, just because Lois wasn't as annoying.
Oh yeah, that's true. I forgot about that.
She was so much better in
this
episode.
Yeah. Okay.
2, there wasn't any like Superman going to the auction or any of the kind of very out of character things.
Okay.
And there was the whole investigative arc.
Yes. So this is our...
My only complaint about this episode, where was Kat?
Oh yeah, there was no Kat.
There was no Kat.
You miss her.
She wasn't in it at all.
You miss her.
I think she would have loved the boxers.
Oh yeah.
Or as Wikipedia says, the boxing fighters.
Oh.
Anyway, so...
But you said that they're going to get rid of her, so...
Well, I don't know, yeah. Should we put this then second on the list?
Yeah.
So it's below the pilot episode. That was still the best episode.
Yes.
Which is so weird, because usually the pilot episode...
It's the worst episode.
Yeah, it's when they're like, all right, we'll take the show, but here's some notes and fix these things.
Yeah.
But no, so we're going to put that as the new number 2. So number 5 goes in to position number 2. So our ranking stands at the moment 1, 5, 4, 3, 2. So not bad. We've only got another 18 or so episodes to go. But at least we've actually got a list written down now. Well, that just leaves us to wrap this episode up.
Yep.
So we want to thank everyone for listening. As always, if you've got any comments, observations you want to make, we've had a few come through from different people. So someone just sent me a message before we started recording this, telling me why they believe the actor that plays Jimmy's replaced for the second season. So we'll get to that later. And also, a couple of people asked, where are we watching the show? A few different people asked me that. So we actually managed to buy the box set of all 4 seasons very cheap on Amazon. So it means that we might even do some bonus episodes of some of the special features that are on the DVDs.
Yeah,
so that could be good as well. If you do want to contact us, you can do so by email at aconversationwithpod@gmail.com or Twitter and Instagram at acwpod. of course, visit our website, aconversationwithpod.com, and there's all the information there on this show, as well as A Conversation With, which is my other podcast where each week I'm having a conversation with a different guest on a different topic, and there'll be a new episode going up probably the same time as this one as well. So definitely check that one out as well. So that's all from us. We just want to say goodbye.
Bye.
See you next time.
See ya.